Hi friends, I'm Tina. Welcome back to Whispering Cottage Home. Today we're taking a sweet look at an old Hutch refresh and how a vintage cabinet can become a charming cottage showpiece instead of something that just sits in the corner holding dishes. Maybe you have one in your kitchen, dining room, breakfast nook, or even tucked in a hallway. Maybe it belonged to your mother, your aunt, or came home with you from a flea market because it had pretty bones and a little bit of history. In this video, we'll talk about simple ways to clean up the look, style the shelves, add practical kitchen storage, and give an old cabinet that soft farmhouse kitchen feeling without making it look crowded or overdone. These are home decor ideas you can use whether your hutch is large, small, painted, stained wood, or just waiting for a fresh beginning. Before we begin, I'd love to know, do you have an old kitchen treasure? Maybe a mixing bowl, a plate, or a little cabinet piece that still makes you smile. The first step in any old hutch refresh is not paint, fabric, or shopping. It is clearing the piece completely and letting it breathe. Take everything out, wipe the shelves, polish the glass, and look at the cabinet as though you just brought it home. Sometimes we stop seeing our own furniture because it has been holding the same things for years. Once it is empty, you can notice the pretty details again, the curved trim, the little knobs, the panelled doors, or the warm glow of old wood. This is also where home organisation comes in. Before putting anything back, sort your dishes into 3 groups: what you use, what you love, and what you are only keeping out of habit. A cottage hutch looks most beautiful when it feels collected but not cluttered. For a farmhouse kitchen or country dining room, try keeping the everyday pieces on the lower shelves. White plates, soup bowls, mugs, or folded napkins. Save the upper shelves for the prettiest things: a blue and white platter, a small stack of transferware plates, a glass compote, or a favourite picture. The goal is not to make it look like a store display. The goal is to make it look cared for. A vintage cabinet becomes much easier to style when you choose a gentle colour story. You do not need everything to match, but you do need the pieces to get along. For cottage style, I love starting with one calm base colour. Creamy white dishes, soft ivory ironstone, pale stoneware, or warm wood tones all work beautifully. Then add 1 or 2 accent colours, such as dusty blue, sage green, butter yellow, faded rose, or cranberry red for the season. If your hutch is dark wood, lighter dishes can brighten it right away. If your cabinet is painted white or cream, a few darker pieces like old brown crocks, amber glass, or a walnut cutting board will give the display depth. This is one of the simplest interior design tricks for a kitchen makeover. Repeat colours in small amounts. A blue plate on the top shelf, a blue striped tea towel below, and a little blue floral tin near the side can make the whole cabinet feel intentional. You can also line the back of the hutch with removable wallpaper, fabric, or even a soft checked paper. A small gingham, faded floral, or tiny ticking stripe can make a plain cabinet feel charming without turning it into a big home renovation project. A hutch should be beautiful, but it should also help your home work better. This is especially true in smaller homes, older kitchens, and farmhouse kitchens where built-in storage may be limited. Use the closed lower cabinet for practical kitchen storage. Extra linens, serving bowls, holiday dishes, candles, tea supplies, or baking pieces you do not use every day. If the doors have glass, keep the inside tidy with lidded baskets, folded cloth napkins, or matching storage tins. On the open shelves, mix display pieces with useful ones. A stack of everyday plates can sit beside a small vase of garden flowers. A row of mugs can hang from little cup hooks. A covered tureen can hold tea bags, clothespins, or packets of garden seeds. That is what makes vintage home decor feel alive. It is not just pretty objects sitting untouched. It is the kind of decorating that supports daily homemaking. And friends, here's a little reminder. You do not need to fill every inch. A little open space around a special platter or a favourite bowl makes it easier to see and enjoy. Every charming cottage hutch needs one clear focal point. This keeps the display from feeling busy. It might be a large platter standing in the center of the top shelf. It might be a framed family recipe card, a painted tray, a vintage breadboard, or a set of old canisters with pretty lettering. Choose one piece that gives the hutch its personality. Then let the smaller pieces support it. For example, if your focal point is a large blue transferware platter, you might add white dishes around it, a folded blue cotton towel, and a small glass jar of wooden spoons nearby. If your focal point is an old yellow mixing bowl, you might add cream plates, a honey-coloured cutting board, and a little pitcher filled with daisies. This is also a lovely way to honour family heirlooms. A hutch can hold more than dishes. It can hold memories, grandma's pie plate, your mother's teacups, your wedding serving bowl, or the little sugar dish you found on a weekend trip. And I'd love to hear from you. If you were styling an old hutch today, what would be the one piece you would put right in the centre? Once the main pieces are in place, add the little cottage details. These are the soft finishing touches that make a hutch feel loved. In spring, try a small pitcher of tulips, a stack of floral saucers, and a pale green linen napkin. In summer, add a bowl of lemons, blue striped towels, or a little vase of zinnias. In autumn, tuck in amber glass, small white pumpkins, dried wheat, or a copper mould. At Christmas, add cranberry ribbon, a few sprigs of cedar, and your prettiest holiday plate. Seasonal decorating does not have to mean packing the whole cabinet away and starting over. Just change 3 or 4 small things. That is one of my favorite affordable home upgrades because it gives the room a fresh feeling without spending much money. You can also add soft lighting nearby. A little lamp on the counter beside the hutch or a small battery candle tucked safely inside a glass lantern can make the whole corner feel welcoming in the evening. The most important thing is balance. Keep the hutch useful, keep the colours gentle, and leave room for the eye to rest. An old hutch does not need to be perfect to be beautiful. Sometimes the charm is in the little worn edges, the familiar dishes, and the feeling that this piece has served a family well. With a good clean out, a soft colour story, practical storage, one meaningful focal point, and a few seasonal details, a vintage cabinet can become the heart of a farmhouse kitchen, dining room, or cottage corner. I hope today's old hutch refresh gave you a few decorating ideas you can use in your own home, especially if you have a piece that is waiting for a little attention. If you enjoyed this visit, please give the video a like, subscribe to Whispering Cottage Home, and leave a comment telling me what you would display in your own cottage hutch. I always love hearing about your old treasures, family pieces, and sweet homemaking memories. Thank you for spending this time with me, friends. Until next time, may your home feel collected, cared for, and full of memory.